Today we're gonna talk about the Burpsuite cookbook, which is basically from Sunny Weir. This book will tell you about the basic concept of how we're gonna use for penetration testing part. So we in the web application testing part or the web security part, we need Burpsuite for penetrate our skills and identify the reconnaissance part. So we're gonna try most of the things over here one by one. So over here, let's no, okay, let's have a look over here. We have a Kali Linux, and I'm gonna use Burpsuite. So web application penetration testing, we use Burpsuite most of the time. And over here, I'm going to take a testing website. That would be our test PHP. And over here, we have a pop-up banner that could be lead us for information part. And what we're going to do, you can see there are temporary projects, new projects on disk, and open existing projects. So in this scenario, what I'm going to do, we're going to try to do the temporary project, because if we have a new project, we have to specify the name and the file of the path, or you can use the open the existing file. So let's, for the now, we're going to use temporary project. So let's execute. So what we have used Burpsuite default credentials. Let's load the configuration files over here and start up. So first thing first. So this is the interface of your Burpsuite 2021.7 version that we're going to use it for penetration testing part, and we're going to look for further more things. So let's have a look. And the Burpsuite, we're going to configure our Burpsuite with the help of our Firefox browser. So the most important thing, we're gonna set up our Firefox and our Burpsuite to proxy. So if I talk about the word proxy means intercept or read the packet which is flowing in the backend server, which can lead us for the transaction and the communication purpose. So the first thing first, when you see on your Burpsuite, you will see dashboard, targets, proxy, intruder, repeaters. These are some tabs, or you can say extenders. Extender means the applications or the process we can use over here. So if you go to the extender, you can see extensions, what extension you can add, or you can see burp store, which will get you all the extender over here one by one, which can be used for the further stages, and many more things. So what we're gonna do over here, we're gonna try to penetrate all the skills. You can see what is an active plus scan. You can read about the vulnerabilities that you're gonna look for, and each and every vulnerability has a different thing. So my major perspective would be to check all the possibilities one by one to identify the loopholes or the reconnaissance part. So we're gonna do the recon part first of all. So first thing first, let's go to the proxy. In the proxy manual, you can see there's an interception. Interception means hold on the packet, or intercept means analyze the request query. Because remember the relationship between the client and the server side. When we are doing www.google.com, the major aspect we do is a request header. So what we're going to do, we're going to try to insert a CA certificate. Why? Because CA certificate will let us know about to read the HTTPS packets over there. So let's have a look this one. Each and every installation of the installation of the Burpsuite has their own CA certificate. So we have to install whenever we are using Burpsuite. So yes. So you can see over here, Burp proxy uses listener to receive incoming HTTP requests on the browser. You can read the configure from a browser use of the listener on the proxy server. Or you can see each installation of the Burp generates its own CA certificate that I already mentioned you right now. And you can do import CA certificate in the format that you want. There are different kind of format can be run over there. Certificate in DR format, private key in the DR format, certificate in the private key, or you can import the part. If you're not aware about the certificates format, just do one thing. Just have a regenerate CA certificate. And the most important thing, that the certificate will work on the localhost IP address, which is 127.0.0.1 port 8080. Why? Because it's our local server. A local server that can be used for communication for the further stages. So one thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna regenerate the CA certificate on the port IP address that would be our localhost 8080. So you can see over here Burpsuite Professional. Welcome to the Burpsuite Professional, and we have CS certificate. So let's click over here, and the first thing you can see there's CS certificate.dr file. We are not going to open this one. We're going to save this one first of all. The major agenda of the CS certificate is to let us intercept the packet of HTTPS packet, certified authority, to read the packet analysis file. So if you click on this one, you can see this is a port swagger CS certificate, which is expired on the 26th. They have given the normal part. The port swaggers, the Burpsuite. You can see in this certificate, you will see the encryption standard they are using for RSA, public and private key encryption standard. So over here, we're going to try to look all the possibilities one by one, which can lead us for information part. So first thing first, we need to install the CS certificate on our browser. So this is the mainly people use Firefox for penetration testing part, or you can use Chrome or other browsers, but Firefox is compatible of this one. So we can do over here, we can go to the preference. Under preference, you can see organize and disable the ability to change some preference. So preference means interfaces. So we can install certificate. So in the certificate tab, we can insert our CS certificate first of all. In authorities, you can see servers. Yes, they have given server, your certificates, people's servers like over here. I already have my local permanent. You can see over here. What are we going to do over here? We're going to go to the authorities, and in authorities, we can install our CS certificate. So you can see import and the CS certificate.dr file. This certificate is already installed in the certificate, so it's okay for us now. So what we're going to do, we're going to try to check if the internet is working or not. Yes, the internet is working properly. There's no issue. And the most important thing, we have to specify the network IP address also. We have to set up the network protocol. So in this preference, you can go to the network to set up the proxy connection IP. You can see you can use localhost 127.0.01 port 8080. That could be the same thing, which I already mentioned you. Otherwise, you can use one tool. You can use one tool that I already have installed my server, and that would be my Firefox, Foxy Proxy. You can use Foxy Proxy for setting up your your proxy server. You don't have to go to the preference and then you have to go to the networking part and insert the settings. All you can do is look for the Foxy Proxy. You can enable your own standards over here one by one. You can install this one over here, but I already have this one. See, you'll see in a proper enable file. You can see the logs, which is over there. The log file will contain all the transactions that we have done till now. So over here, I'm going to go to the options. In the options, you can do one thing. You can simply name anything you want. So I'm going to use this one, Burpsuite. You can name this one anything. And you can select the color you want for understanding. The protocol, which protocol proxy type you want. You want HTTPS SSL or SOC or X43 PAC. Most of the people, they use HTTP default one, and the proxy IP address of the DNS. So the proxy IP address of the DNS could be our same, just like this one, our localhost, because we need the communication part. So 127.0.0.1. Oh, sorry, it will be over here, and the port number will be there, which will be port 8080. You can specify anything else. Say this one. See. Now you can see over here that we have two proxy servers. One is my burp, which is in green color, and we have a purple one. So you can add this one according to your own need, but I already have done this one, so I'm going to delete the first one. If you have installed the proxy, you can do it in a manual way. See, I mean, this one is running properly. So let's do the interception part. So let's check if it's working or not. There are lots of things that are given over here. See, they have given the certificate also, which if you doesn't know understanding the certificate is just for your secure communication. Most of the website they use HTTPS to communicate back with any of the servers they assigned. So our major agenda would be to simply penetrate all the skills one by one, which can be lead us for information part. Yeah, so I can see my packet has been captured. So it means the proxy server is running properly. So let's do one thing, drop the packet. So first thing first that we're gonna do is we're gonna try to check all the possibilities one by one. We can understand the basic concept of your Burpsuite, and we're gonna take help of this book also. Those who are not familiar with the Burpsuite, they can simply enroll this one or simply penetrate. Because the most important thing I'm going to teach you today is to recon part with the help of Burpsuite. You need to identify the parameter values, which can be leaders for information part. So if you look for over here, how to start Burpsuite, they have given how to start Burpsuite and what are the things on the what are the components we need over here to understand the proper work of the workflow and how to do it. They have given all the setups. You can create your own environment. See, they're gonna say that how to install the localhost configure your local proxy server, or you can use proxy foxy for that. There are many further things can be happened over there. So our major agenda over here is to simply penetrate or simply look for the vulnerabilities that could be leaders for information part. So most of the things that we do is most of the penetration testers or the peoples they try to enumerate is means information gathering part. Information gathering part which can be used at various things. So let's have a look what we're gonna learn today over here. They're gonna show us how to use proxy server or interception server. तो ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा अगर आप यहाँ पे देखोगे, so they use a different kinds of varieties of things. And over here, the first they are showing us the target. And see how it works. The most important question, how it works. The burp proxy service is listening on the localhost IP address, which is your 270.0.1 port 8080. These settings can be changed to the listening of alternative IP address or the port number. तो आप अपना port number के through according अपने proxy server को set कर सकते हो. Just you have to insert the CA certificate over there. So in this scenario, we're gonna try all the combinations of the Burpsuite and try to look what are the possibilities over there. So let's have a look. Get starting your Burpsuite. Introduction. This is a normal thing. Okay. See this one. The most important thing is to understand the methodologies or the tools they are using. Repeater, decoder, intruder. You're understanding the message editors, setting up the target man. सबसे ज़्यादा important है आपको URL को understand करना कि URL actually है क्या. For example, अगर आप यहाँ पे देखो, okay, let's do one thing. Let's try to understand the basic knowledge. Basic URL यूनिफॉर्म रिसोर्स लोकेटर ऑफ अ वेबसाइट कि बेसिकली हम चेक क्या करते हैं. चलो यहाँ पे मैं ले रहा हूँ डोमेन नेम, फाइल फाइल टाइप डॉट प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेज क्वेश्चन मार्क पैरामीटर इजिकल टू वैल्यू. अब ये जो मैं बता रहा हूँ, a domain name is a website, a file type is a content, a programming language is also mentioned over there to manage, and the parameter value, which is also important. So how does it looks like? Domain name could be anything, just like your XYZ. File type, like your login.php. Let's take login.php. Login.php with a programming language. Parameter would be your name is equal to Lucifer. Login.php is a file type. The parameter is the name, which is the value. Each and every attacker, they simply try to extract or read about the parameter values. Those are important. A parameter value could be anything. A client request can be modified. How it's going to happen? Because with the help of parameter. Because this is contained the proper path. So the first thing first we're going to do over here is to simply scan the entire network. तो अगर आप यहाँ पे देखो, I'm going to take the testing website. Let's copy the URL, and we first thing first you'll see dashboard, target, proxy, intruder, your repeater, sequencer, decoder, comparer. Let's try one by one and enumerate all the things. Let's try with this one, dashboard. So we have new scan. In the new scan, this is known as your spider. Spider is basically used to crawl the entire network to identify the directories and subdirectories on the server side. So what are we going to try? We're going to try to look all the possibilities one by one, which can be lead us for information function. So you can see crawl and audit. Crawl and audit will identify the bugs also on the server side, but we're going to do a simple crawl. Why? Because we need to identify only the directories and subdirectories on the server side and the parameter values. Define the URL to scan. Burp will crawl these URL and by default, including everything, bring the specific URL folder. Scan for HTTP and HTTPS, or scan using my specific protocol. Configuration, you will see something like this. Use advanced scope control. Scope control means you have to simply target the specific website. Only the target specific website. So let's try only the over here with the crawling part. I'm not going to use any of this one. Otherwise, I have to add parts. Or one more thing you can do, you can simply scan this configuration file from username and password if you want to save this one. See, the crawling of the test.php.vulnerhub.avail, it will crawl the entire network to identify the parameter values on the server side, which could be lead us for information gathering part. So यहाँ पे सबसे ज़्यादा important क्या है, जैसे कि हम nmap में करते थे size up the network, यहाँ पे हम वेबसाइट को size up कर रहे हैं. यहाँ पे हम वेबसाइट तो यहाँ पे पूरे के पूरे डायरेक्टरीज आपको एक एक करके सारे फाइंड आउट करने हैं और उसको चेक करना है कि उसमें कौन कौन सी वैल्यूज जा रही है. सबसे ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है उस वेबसाइट की बिहेवियर को चेक करना. The behavior means how the client and the response work and the data flow. सबसे ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है आपका data flow. So the crawl has been done. I think, look, the number of requests, which is flowing from the client side. Crawl अगर कर रहे हो तो आप उसके ये आपका एक्टिव स्कैन में आता है, क्योंकि एक एक करके सारे डायरेक्टरीज को आइडेंटिफाई करना. I don't know how many directories are there on the server side, which could be leaders for information gathering part. So over here, you can see the number of parameter values. और अगर आप पूरे वेबसाइट को crawl, if you want to check all the crawling process of your website, you can simply visit the target tab. In the target tab, you can see there are some websites like your adserve.google.com, adserve. These are advertisement. These are some Google advertisement over here. See, but our major website was over here, that is test.php. And if you click over here, you will see all the directories and subdirectories in a proper way, just like your Burpsuite. Burpsuite, GoBuster, and you can follow other methodologies that can be leaders for information part. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna try all the possibilities one by one, which can be leaders for information part. So number of parameter values, number of vulnerabilities will be there. For example, we can see we have Ajax, index.php, Flash. Okay, these are the normal files. Let's see guest.php. This is a mechanism. और सबसे ज़्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट जो है आपके बिहेवियर को चेक करना. So if you see over here, we can simply check. Simple, you can get a proper data over here. See, the most important thing is the parameter values. You can see guest in the guest.php, there is a parameter value which is ticked. There are some more parameter values, which is your pp. See this one, ppp.pp12, which is given over there. Login.php, search.php. This is also parameter. So जो सबसे ज़्यादा important है, you have to identify all the possibilities. User.info.php. अगर आप यहाँ पे देखो नीचे, you will see the request which is from the client side and the response from the server side. But the connection is closed. There is no behavior over here. For example, lot of time what happened, you will see a proper context like this one. You can see the host, which is a URL, the website. You can see method, which is your get method or post method. Get method or post method. You can see the URLs, which I was saying about the parameter. Look, there are lots of parameter values. Click over here. You will see all the parameter values. Status code is the important part. Why? Because 200 repeat 200 means the request has been successful from the client side. Length of the packet will examine all the possibilities. Mean type, which is your HTML, an HTML format. And there are many more further things can be happen one by one. And the title, which is your artist. So let's try have a look. You can try one thing. Right click on the specific target value because there are lots of website over here. Let's do one thing. Right click, add to scope. Add to scope. क्यों कर रहे हैं? Because we need to identify only the specific website that we want to penetrate. You have added the item to the target scope. Do you want to Burpsuite proxy to stop sending out of the scope item? Yes. Re-enable. The scope has been added. तो अगर आप यहाँ पे देखो filter hiding not found, click over here, you will see a pop-up. और इसके थ्रू हम आइडेंटिफाई फिल्टरिंग क्यों कर रहा हूँ मैं? बिकॉज यहाँ पे मैं रिस्पॉन्स कोड को भी फिल्टर कर सकता हूँ अकॉर्डिंग टू मुझे कौन सा रिस्पॉन्स कोड चाहिए. 400 तो मैं चाहिए नहीं, 403, 400, 401, 500 भी सही है क्योंकि उसमें बहुत सारे फॉर्मेट दिख जाते हैं. फिल्टर्स बाय मीन, कौन से टाइप के चाहिए आपको? HTML, स्क्रिप्ट, XML, CSS, एनी टाइम दैट यू वांट टू. और द फिल्टर बाय रिक्वेस्ट टाइप. Filter by request type is basically known as your scope in only. जो मैंने यहाँ पे select किया है, simply request ही चाहिए आपको या parameterized queries चाहिए. तो मैं पहले तो दोनों डाल देता हूँ. तो यहाँ पे request भी दिखा रहा है प्लस आपके files भी दिखा रहा है. बट यहाँ पे देखो आपके यहाँ पे ये change हो चुका है. There is only one website host over there. Let's try only the parameterized query. You can see only the parameter query right now. You can change, add to scope. Again, the parameters and the files has been set. And सबसे ज़्यादा important क्या है? Behavior को examine करना. See, if I'm using artist is equal to 1, you will see artist is equal to 1. ये आपकी एक request है from the client side, and this one is the response code which is 200. It means okay. A proper data has been given over there one by one. So let's have a look what will happen. मान लो कि आपके पास पैरामीटर वैल्यू आ गई. अब बात आती है एक्टिव स्कैन की. How we gonna do active scan? In active scan, we gonna look for vulnerabilities. Passive scan is just to examine the website. But in active scan, we can use it to penetrate and find the loopholes. Dashboard overview. See this one. Through active scan, we can identify bugs on that specific website. What kind of bugs are there? You can click over here. It's gonna scan the entire website and it's gonna identify all the vulnerabilities one by one. See, 3 bugs have been found, which is critical. Check out this one. You will get a proper scanning error. You can see active scan, 1 critical vulnerability found, issue found, and over here you can see it's going to scan the entire network and identify the loophole which is present on the server side, which is your Nessus, just like your auditor, your network auditor. So over here, you can simply try to check what are the vulnerabilities, path, relative, style. As a security analyst, you need to penetrate one by one all the domain and all the networks and look for the vulnerabilities. So the major important thing is simply check all the things one by one. You can simply look for high, or you can simply use medium. No medium vulnerabilities. Low is just like your information. You can see password field with automation enabled. What exactly this vulnerability is? The severity is low. The severity means the vulnerability risk. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna try to check more further things, which could be lead us for information part. So one by one, we're gonna try to penetrate, or we're gonna look for all the possibilities to identify if we can find anything suspicious on the website. And you can read about the CVE, Common Web Exploitation, 200 information exposure. Most browsers have facility to remember user credentials that are entered into HTML form. Yes, I guess this is a normal thing. The function can be configured by the user and also application. Employ user credentials. If the function is enabled, then credentials entered by the user are stored on the local computer and reviewed by the browser on future visit of the same application. See, सिंपल यहाँ पे बता रखा है कि वो ब्राउजर सर्वर साइड में सेव कर रहा है. अगर कोई भी अननोन पर्सन आया और एप्लीकेशन यूज कर रहा है तो वो डेटा को फेच कर सकता है. There are further many things can be happen over there, which could be lead us for information part and many further things. So our major objective of this is the entire identification part. Look for the high vulnerability. You will see some vulnerabilities like your Flash player, certain of firmware vulnerabilities are also important. See, it's gonna scan the entire network, and it's gonna take some time. Active scan will take some time, and it will create some logs, event logs. SQL injection. See, they have found SQL injection on the server side. So what could be the possibilities? It's all about the information part that we have revealed yet. Many further things can be happened one by one, and the information part also. So let's have a look on the further things. For the SQL injection, you can see the request, and you can see if the severity is high. Condition firmware. See which payload they have used. They use blind SQL injection. Blind SQL injection where they are simply putting a question or a query on the server side to reveal sensitive information. See this one, a request. This is a proper request which is over there on the payload type. And the response. See, let's have a look. Show responsive browser. Show responsive browser will affect on you on server side. Sorry, it was this. Copy the response code, not the request code. The request code which is on the server. Yep. True value. Request code, response code. You can see all. See, now they are using a slip function. Select star from select sleep 20-second. And what is the response? Select for 20 seconds. After 20 seconds, there will be a pop-up or a behavior over there. Many further things can be happen to simply check the vulnerabilities one by one. And SQL injection is one of the critical vulnerabilities that could be done in various techniques. So let's have a look what will happen. Through the active scan, you can see they have found cross-site scripting vulnerabilities. Show response in browser. A simple pop-up. And what was the request? It was alert. Okay, I can't change this one. See, many more vulnerabilities are there, and you can see the parameter value, which parameter they are affecting. सबसे ज़्यादा important है कि check करना कि कौन से parameter पे value पे वो attack कर रहा है. Show details. देखो, anonymous user text basis request 200. Login to the anonymous user. This is all about the recon part. You have to simply identify all the possibilities one by one, which can be read further and further things. And the most important thing, you can try to check many more things. This was a part of your active scan, and still it's scanning a number of requests. See, why this is known as active scan? 11,000 requests has been created, 11,000, and still it's going on. Whenever you're trying an active scan, remember to simply penetrate or simply check all the queries. Now, 12 vulnerabilities has been discovered. But what will happen when we are doing a modification on the parameter value? There are dashboard. We have learned about the target, the sitemap.xml, which will let you know about the parameter values, and you have to select which parameter value you want to search. मान लो आपको चेक करना है कि ID is equal to 1 दिख जाए. ID is equal to 1 देख रहे हो? आप यहाँ पे जो भी दोगे, कोई भी पैरामीटर दोगे जो आपको फाइंड करनी है, केस सेंसिटिव, you will find those things. Let's do redirect. No redirect parameter found. Redirect parameter is also found in the various techniques. URL. Whatever you're gonna write over here, it's gonna look. Filtration part is the important thing. Suppose we have we have to select. See this one. They're gonna show you the vulnerabilities also. अगर आपको कोई bugs मिल जाए तो वो भी आपको show करेगा. You can see this one. Artist.php artist is equal to 1. See. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to simply right click. Now we're going to use the repeater mode. The major function of repeater is basically used to modify the client request according to his own purpose. Remember, target will let you know about the parameter values. What are the parameter values over there? but the repeater will let you to modify the parameter value. See, you can see a request and the response, a request from the client side and the response from the server side. Let's have a look. So from the client side, they are simply visiting artist.php and artist is equal to 1, which is a client request. And the server, we have 200. It means the request has been executed over there. So what happened if we change the parameter value? Let's try SQL injection. See, they are using MySQL fetch array. MySQL fetch array is basically used to fetch the error type. Let's change the value with Lucifer. I'm getting 200. Again, a fetch array came. A normal value. I simply change the value according to the parameter value. I was checking if we can run any query or not. Let's try with the ID parameter. Let's try a question mark. Nothing happened. It's saying 200. What else we have? We have cat is equal to. Let's see this one. A normal backend value. Backslash. We have an error on our SQL syntax. The parameter value is basically used to identify or simply check the values over there. Unknown column Lucifer. See, there's a MySQL is running. All you have to do is to simply check all the possibilities one by one. And that could be lead us for information gathering part. Repeater major work is to simply penetrate or simply find the loopholes on the server side. And if you go over here, 21 vulnerabilities, 17,000 requests. See, high vulnerabilities. One by one, all the things can be happening over there. Target, proxy, intruder. There are many further things can be happening. If you go to the target, अगर आपको कोई स्पेसिफिक वर्ड को सर्च करना है, सीधा टारगेट में जाके एंगेजमेंट टूल में जाओ, फाइंड कमेंट, फाइंड स्क्रिप्ट, फाइंड रेफरेंस, एनालाइज, डिस्कवर कंटेंट. अगर आप डिस्कवर कंटेंट करते हो तो ये आपका एडवांस एग्रेसिव स्कैन हो जाएगा. Content means the data which is on the backend side, which is hidden to all. कंटेंट डिस्कवरी जो आपका मेजरली काम करता है वो आपके डेटाबेस के फाइल को फेच करने के लिए यूज होता है. See, you can see all the possibilities one by one. So the content discovery file is basically used to identify the files or the backend database services. जो कि आपके डेटा फाइल पाथ रिकरेंस के काम आता है। और सबसे ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट क्या है, एक एक करके सारी फाइल्स को देखना कि उसमें और कौन कौन से फाइल चल रहे हैं। अगर आप यहाँ पे देखो साइट मैप में आपको सारी फाइल्स दिख जाएंगी। यहाँ पे 200 कंटेंट में बेसिकली क्या होता है, कंटेंट में कभी-कभार क्या बहुत हिडन फाइल्स छुपी होती है, अगर मिल गई सो दैट वुड बी अ बिग bounty. A big bounty is over there if you find something relevant to the data. There are many things can be happen and many things can be over there. When you're doing a pen testing of a website, you have to make your own cheat sheet or your own methodology. That could be lead us for information part. Content discovery to find some sensitive information on the server side, which can be lead us for information. Done. So we have lots of further things over here. For example, Spider for identifying the parameter values on the server side. Proxy. The most important thing is a proxy server. Why? Proxy to intercept or read the packet. For example, let's have a look over here. Intercept the proxy and refresh the page. So the client request has been forwarded to the Burpsuite. Over here I can see. Sometimes you have to check one by one, like you can simply forward the packet to check what are the applications are over there. सबसे ज़्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट है उसका बिहेवियर क्या चेक करना, कौन से पेज पे कौन से फाइल पे वो रीडायरेक्ट कर रहा है, फ्लैश एडवर्टाइजमेंट और एसटीएमएल फाइल. Next thing, we can see the page over there. So let's try have a look how we're gonna use intruder to identify the hidden directories on the server side. So I'm gonna place Lucifer over here and intercept the packet and refresh. Okay, so यहाँ पे Lucifer आया नहीं क्या? कोई नहीं, मैं एक्चुअली इस पैकेट को कैप्चर करना चाहता हूँ. आ गया. तो इस पैकेट को मैं क्या करूँगा, यहाँ पे मैं brute force अटैक करूँगा intruder के थ्रू. Intruder is basically used for performing brute force attack on the server side. तो मैं इसको intruder के पास भेज देता हूँ, फिर मैं पैकेट को ड्रॉप कर दूंगा. अब आती है intruder की बात. Intruder is basically used to perform a brute force attack on the server side. Let's see over here. The burp intruder allows a tester to brute force or fuzz. Fuzz means fuzzing or debugging mode. Fuzz specific portion of the HTTP message or using customized payload. Customized payload of attack. There are many further things can be happen, but through the Burpsuite we're gonna penetrate one by one all the skills. Okay, so let's try what we will get. So let's try attacking type. तो मैं यहाँ पे एक डिक्शनरी यूज करूंगा. सबसे ज्यादा सिक्योरिटी एनालिस्ट एक डिक्शनरी यूज करते हैं जो वो है आपका सेकलिस्ट. सेकलिस्ट गिटहब. You can see there are lots of checklist word lists. Checklist is the security tested companion. It is collection of multiple types of lists that are using for security professionals. Collected in one place. List includes username and password and URL and sensitive data pattern, fuzzing payloads and web shells and many more. Fuzzing की बात करते हो, डिस्कवरिंग की बात करते हो. अब यहाँ पे फजिंग में क्या आ रहा है? यहाँ पे डेटाबेसेस आ रहा है, LFI आ रहा है, SQLi, यूजर एजेंट, एक्सेस आ रहा है, JSON फजिंग, सिक्योरिटी, लेटर्स. अगर आप ये ओपन करो तो इसमें है क्या? You will see number of words. Digits formatting, JSON, LDAP, URI for SQLi, process scripting के लिए यहाँ पे दे रखा है, Windows attack phishing के लिए, XML के लिए, chat text के लिए, emails extensions, numeric values. Okay, यहाँ पे नहीं है. यूजर एजेंट में क्या देखते हैं? SQLi. चलो डिस्कवरी में देखते हैं. डिस्कवरी में क्या है? DNS इन्फॉर्मेशन, फाइल सिस्टम, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, मेनफ्रेम, वेरिएबल्स एंड वेब कंटेंट्स. वेब कंटेंट्स इंपॉर्टेंट है. सो Burpsuite पैरामीटर, URLs इसको ट्राई करते हैं. ओके, यहाँ पे URLs किसके देखे हैं? Drupal के दे रखा है, SAP के देखे, Joomla का दे रखा है, WordPress का दे रखा है. सो अगर आप कोई भी आपको अगर WordPress की वेबसाइट मिलती है तो आप ये उसमें चला के देख सकते हैं कि कौन कौन से फाइल वहाँ पे एक्सेस हो रहे हैं. And there are around 925 words. Domain hunter, CMS, Burpsuite, parameter miner. These are some parameter values. Okay, so मैं यहाँ पे एक छोटा सा डिक्शनरी यूज करूँगा. जैसे कि मुझे यहाँ पे जैसे अगर आप देखो अटैक टाइप कितने होते हैं. अटैक टाइप में आपके पास 4 होते हैं, जिसमें आपका स्नाइपर है, बैटरिंग रैम है, पिचफॉर्क है और क्लस्टर बॉम्ब है. सो अगर मैं यहाँ पे स्नाइपर की बात करूँ, स्नाइपर आपका यूज होता है स्पेसिफिक पैरामीटर पे अटैक करने के लिए, स्पेसिफिक टारगेट, एक सिंगल पैरामीटर स्क्रॉलिंग पार्ट. बैटरिंग रैम होता है आपके मल्टीपल पैरामीटर्स पे स्क्रॉल करने के लिए. पिचफॉर्क आपके यूज होता है दो डिफरेंट URLs या दो डिफरेंट पैरामीटर वैल्यू के लिए और दो डिफरेंट डिक्शनरीज यूज करने के लिए. जैसे यूजर नेम के लिए एक अलग डिक्शनरी और पासवर्ड के लिए एक अलग डिक्शनरी यूज होती है आपकी. एंड वी हैव क्लस्टर बॉम्ब. क्लस्टर बॉम्ब आर बेसिकली यूज्ड टू सिंपली पेनिट्रेट द स्किल्स, जो कि आपका परम्यूटेशन कॉम्बिनेशन बनाता है, और उसमें हम सिंगल डिक्शनरी यूज करते हैं. बट अभी के लिए मैं यहाँ पे ये वाला यूज करूंगा, ऐड टैग, क्योंकि मुझे इस पैरामीटर पे अटैक करना है वर्ड्स के लिए. पेलोड्स इंपॉर्टेंट है. पेलोड्स में हम क्या करेंगे? हमारी डिक्शनरी सेट करेंगे हम. द डिक्शनरी दैट वी गोना सेट. सो लोड पेलोड. सो नॉर्मल यूज करते हैं. यूजर शेयर वर्ड लिस्ट डबस्टर. कोई भी एक मैं यूज कर रहा हूँ. मैं मीडियम डॉट यूज कर रहा हूँ और उसके अंदर पता नहीं कितने वर्ड्स हैं. देख ही सकते कितने वर्ड्स हैं. Let's do options. In options, you can select your attacking type, or you can do start attack or open state attack. "404 page not found." 2 lakh words. It's going to take a lot of time. To 200 ही हो रहे हैं. 404 page not found. Index page is not there. Download page is not there. There's a CGI bin was there. Or the picture directory. Image directory. Admin directory. Show 301 found. Show response in browser. We can see a proper thing one by one. There are many further things can be happen if you simply penetrate or simply find the vulnerabilities over there. See, I was just simply using the crawling part to identify the directories and subdirectories on the server, which can be lead us for information part. और ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा जो आपके यूज होंगे आपके रिपीटर, आपका डिकोडर आपके सेंसिटिव डेटा को हाइड करने के लिए, जैसे कि अगर मैं यहाँ पे कोई पैरामीटर भेज रहा हूँ, डिकोड एज यूआरएल, अच्छा सॉरी एनकोड एज यूआरएल, मल्टीपल एक्सटेंशन यूज करने के लिए एचटीएमएल पे डबल एनकोडिंग, बेस 64. सो यहाँ पे सबसे ज़्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट क्या है कि आपको अंडरस्टैंडिंग करनी है बाइनरी कोड. The number of multiple encoding you will use, you multiple secure you are doing. Our major objective of this one is to simply penetrate skills and check. Sequencer, जब आप इसे यूज sequencer आपका जो यूज होगा वो आपके पैरामीटर के हर एक रिक्वेस्ट को लाइव कैप्चर करने के लिए. Send request from here, other tools to configure a live capture. कंपेयर आपके दो पैरामीटर को कंपेयर करने के लिए यूज होगा, यानी कि दो पैरामीटर की रिक्वेस्ट को चेक करने के लिए. और यहाँ पे जो एक्सटेंडर यूज होगा, एक्सटेंडर बेसिकली एसएसएल स्कैनर हो गया, आपका सब डोमेन एक्सट्रैक्टर हो गया, टर्बोटर हो गया, टारगेट रिडायरेक्टर हो गया, ये सारे के सारे हम एक एक करके यूज करेंगे. तो यहाँ पे बहुत सारी चीजें हैं जो वी कैन ट्राई टू पेनिट्रेट ओवर देयर वन बाय वन इन आवर सेशंस टाइम. एंड द मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंट थिंग इज टू अंडरस्टैंड हाउ द Burpsuite वर्क्स, क्योंकि यहाँ पे अगर आप देखो यहाँ पे बहुत सारी चीजें मिलेंगी आपको. Content discovery, I basically use for find comments, something like debug. Content find क्यों क्यों बोल रहा हूँ, because it will remain. Why I'm using the comment part, क्योंकि डेवलपर्स कभी कभार क्या करते हैं, वो कुछ कमेंट बैकएंड साइड में छोड़ देते हैं, उनको याद ही नहीं आता कि मुझे डिलीट करना है, which could be lead us for information gathering part. Free the current one. A padding is visible MSI control. And this one is also used to you can say क्या बोलते हैं, information disclosure vulnerability, that we can do lots of things. Search for the parameter one. There are many things you're gonna learn over here. Issue definitions, the vulnerabilities that you have discovered, and you need to find the patches over there, and many other things. So this was all about your attack type, and I will say simply read this book.